Hey, and welcome to the podcast. This is Fan the Flames. I'm Dan. This is Nate.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Hey, what's up? And we are here to talk hockey. We are two Calgary boys, ex-minor hockey players.
Ex-minor hockey week champions.
Who've dedicated some time allowance in our lives to watch every Flames game, follow the news, and then talk about it because we are Flames fans. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, since the last podcast, we had two home games. We had the Avs and Chicago in the building. Then Anaheim, though, a trip to the
Honda Center.
The cursed Honda Center. Starting back at the Dome against the Avs. It was a pretty good game, good comeback after the loss to the Penguins. Flames respond. They badly outshot the Avs. The first period kind of had a feel of mid-season boringness, a lot of neutral zone battles. But and the second, Smith led in a soft goal, which we'll be coming back to.
A few soft ones, actually.
Then there was that Hanifin suicide pass to Jankowski. Did you see that?
Yeah, actually, Jankowski, he took a big hit, but there was no head contact. It was a good, solid hit.
I saw some head contact, and I was a little fearful for Jenny, but Bennett comes in with the fisticuffs, which was good to see. And then...
Yeah, and just commenting on that, they were saying on the broadcast that players on the Flames say Bennett is like sneaky tough. Like he's tougher than everyone thinks.
Oh, well, we've been watching Bennett since he started, and he's always had no problem playing a physical game. He's been Mr. Penalty.
Yeah, that's true.
But the Flames have returned to their third period comeback, a callback to 2014-15 season under Hartley. And in the third against Avs, Backlund, Lindholm, Monham, Neal, Giordano, and Falik all scored. That's 5 goals.
It was a huge comeback.
It was big.
Yeah, coming back from 4-1 to win 6-4.
Yeah.
5 goals in the third.
And they were good goals. Neal's goal was, I think, Neal's first skilled goal. He had that one. Did you see that one that it was a flutter shot that just somehow went in? It was weak, and he had another goal that was also kind of weak. But this was a great shot by Neal. I think Goudreau set him nicely.
Yeah, and just to add to that, it was his first goal of real consequence.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was. It took over from a 3-3 tie to a 4-3.
I don't know about you, but when I was watching the game, I typically have this rule that if a team gets down by 3, I fast forward the game, because usually I watch it on PVR or on recording. I never watch it exactly live. That way I can fast forward the commercials. But for some reason this game I just kept watching. I didn't bother to skip ahead, and
it was exciting.
It was a moment of destiny.
I really enjoy the third period comeback team, but we can get into that later. Chicago was up next, and Flames got a power play goal in that one. Show a good sign there. Flames again badly outshot Chicago, who seems to be slipping. Yeah, we'll get into that some more later too.
We got Coach Q fired.
Yeah. But in that game, the Flames, every player worked hard, and they stole the game for Riddick. So that was nice to see the players winning one for the goalie. I think it was something Kachuk allude to her in an earlier press conference, so that's exactly what happened there.
Yep.
And then was it Sunday? Oh no, it was Wednesday. They traveled to the Honda Center to face Anaheim. Anaheim's hurting with the injuries.
No Perry.
No Perry, no Kaza. I think it was pretty solid play. Anyways, they got a lot of injuries. And it felt like the Flames could easily take this one, kind of get the curse of the Honda Center off, but it did not end that way. It felt like right from the get-go, the Flames were playing down to their level. And then Anaheim scored first with a soft goal.
Anaheim, they managed to really slow the game down.
Yeah.
And then, as you say, a soft goal on Smith, and And really, goaltending was the difference in the game.
Yeah. Miller outplayed him. Jankowski got his first of the season with a pretty short-handed. That was...
And it was all him. Effort, win the puck, up the boards, and nice shot.
That was really nice to see him pull off a play like that. That's probably the best thing to take out of that game.
Well, that and the fact that all 3 games you mentioned, we outshot the other teams and really outworked the other teams. So if you kind of break it down into offense, defense, goaltending, offense and defense, we probably won all 3 of the games. The only area where we maybe aren't winning every game is goaltending.
Yeah. So that's still the biggest talking point, the biggest question mark with the Flames going in with their 9-6-1, pretty decent record, lands them second in the Pacific.
Yeah, and I think 1 win and we're back in first, so we're right there.
Yeah, if we get the goaltending.
Yeah, that's the big question mark.
Shall we get into that?
Yeah, I think that's the most burning issue. No pun intended. But what would you do about the goalies? Because Smith has been struggling.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like he's good to let in a soft goal every game.
Yeah, and at least one.
At least one. Because
his games have ranged from, I think he's had maybe 2 or 3 great games.
Yeah.
And then he's had 4 or 5 where he lets in a softie, but he's not terrible. He's just okay.
Yeah.
And then 2 or 3 where he's just, put out the shooter tutor.
Yeah. He feels like just an average NHL goaltender, not a great one.
Well, some of those games he's even below average.
Yeah, that's true. Save percentage is under 900.
Yeah, I was listening to the radio and they had a stat that if you take all the starters, so goalies you consider like number ones, he has the worst stats in the league, which,
it's not great for your starting goaltender.
No, it's not. And it's not great for a team that we've struggled to find goaltending, and the fan base, we're kind of relentless on these goalies. Like if they start to struggle, we run them out of town, and Smith is the latest victim of the lynch mob.
He's tied to the wagon already. Listening to Eric Francis go off, that's basically what he was saying. He's saying the fan base is done with Smith. There's pretty much nothing he can do. Even if he plays stellar from here on in, takes him to the playoffs, he feels that the fans won't get behind him. He's on his last year contract and he'll be gone no matter what Smith does. Which is,
I think that's maybe a bit of recency bias on Francis's, because come on, if Smith turns it around the second 40 games and takes us to the conference finals, and he's like the reason we get to the conference finals, like he's putting up unreal stats, I don't think the fans will still run him out of town. I think if you win, people are very forgiving, but you have to win.
He said all that, but another point he brought up, which I tend to agree, he says despite him, or despite what can happen, his liability, he should still be the main guy, and we should still stick behind him for this season.
So you think our next game is against the LA Kings? I think they're worst in the league.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next game right after that's a back-to-back. We play San Jose.
Yeah.
What would be your strategy with the goalies? Would you go Smith again?
Yeah, give them one each, or maybe both is Smith.
I think for me, it's all about winning. So you can't think about, this guy is a proven starter like Smith, and in the long run we need him. You have to think right now, who's going to give you the best chance? And I would go with the strategy of you win, you're in. So Smith lost. It's Rittich's next game, and he plays until he loses, and create some competition for the goalies that way. Because I think we're not at the point where Smith is benched, but we're past the point where he's the clear number one. It's a battle now. Rittich has outplayed him, and now they're battling for the number one spot.
What about the possibility of Smith being a battler, a guy who really wants to fight for it, and giving him the chance to redeem himself, get some confidence back, and get back to his his all-star performance style? I mean, he's a 2-time all-star.
Yeah, I think at least 2.
Yeah,
last year he was an all-star.
Yeah, Team Canada.
But I think, play on his competitive side. Put him on the bench, let him watch, and if, maybe getting a chip on his shoulder, getting a little mad will have him play better.
It's possible, but I think we still got to get behind Smith, keep giving him those games. The Flames showed that they can win games for the goaltender now, and with Smith's soft goal let in, he also makes some stellar saves behind him. He's really it's starting to get more frustrating than it was last year.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable to watch.
It's uncomfortable to watch. That one save, listening to announcers, they thought he didn't touch it, and he just made some big flailing motion, and the guy shot it out. But I think they showed back that he did actually punch it out.
Yeah,
knock it out of place. So it ended up being a great save from.
But he is doing a lot of flailing. It's like the crane from Karate Kid back there, just flailing his arms around. And
I mean, it feels like his positioning is just getting worse. It's kind of frustrating in that sense, but
yeah, I guess then we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
Who starts the next game and how they play. It's definitely the hottest topic. But the other topic on the Flames that has everyone buzzing is the Cardiac Kids are back with their third period scoring.
Yeah. I really enjoy it. I love watching a third period comeback.
Yeah, who doesn't?
But I'm sure the coaches don't. They want to see, and with them out shooting, you can make the argument in the Avalanche and Chicago game that they played the full game. Just Smith led in few ones that got them down, and they just played stronger in third. With the Anaheim, it didn't feel that way. It felt like they did not come out strong, but finished strong.
Yeah, I agree with you that of the 3 games we talked about, there's maybe one period, and that was in Anaheim, where they were not the better team.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were trailing in all 3 of those games, it had more to do with goaltending than the team.
Yeah.
So, but the idea that you're coming back all the time, does that concern you? Are you worried about that, or you think over the course of this season we're going to start to get some wins where we're leading the whole time?
It's better to be leading the whole time, but I had no problem with it back in the Bob Hartley era. I don't, as a viewer, I don't have a problem with it, but if you want to talk about a deep playoff team, you need to control games from the get-go. For example, the Lightning.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is as a viewer, of course, it's great to see the comebacks. Yeah. But as guys who've watched a lot of hockey and been involved in hockey, we know it's a warning sign. If you're always coming back, it means you're always trailing, and it's just not sustainable. So for me, it's I always have this voice in the back of my head saying, this is eventually we're not going to be able to come back all the time, and we won't get the wins.
It's true, but the realist side of me says I don't think we have the team to be dominating all the time. I think they're going to go through their low portions of the game, and as long as there's a strong third, there's always hope.
True. And since we're talking about overall Flames and things concerning the special teams, that's always been a hot topic with the Flames. And if we look at power play percentage, Calgary is not doing that great. They're 21st in the league, 17.5%. And if we look at penalty kill, they're way down there. They're 27th in the league, 73.6%. So
we were talking about struggling power play for a while. There was a power play goal in both Chicago and Anaheim. Kachuk had that sweet tip in right off the power play, or right off the draw.
He's gotten really good at tip-ins.
Yeah. It's fun to watch. It's really great hand-stick coordination.
Yeah.
And that's a new NHL product. These kind of goals were not prevalent until 10 years